Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our presentation today on the Fulbright UK Summer Institutes. My name is Dr. Laurie Staff. I am the Assistant Director of the Office of National Scholarship Advisement and one of the main advisors for this particular award opportunity. I'm going to give you a little bit more background about that in a second. I just want to welcome everyone, and for those of you who are just joining, please note that while I'm in presentation mode, it is a little bit difficult for me to see folks when they raise their hand, so I just would appreciate your patience. I will take some moments to stop during the presentation to allow folks to answer questions, and you can also put those questions into the chat, and hopefully I'll be able to see those. As I said, this is a presentation on the Fulbright UK Summer Institute experience. And as you can see from the slide, this is an experience that is intended to provide students with transformative experiences that really change lives. And you might be wondering a little bit about our office, the things that we offer, and the general ideas about this program. So I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction first to the Office of National Scholarship Advisement, because many of you, especially if you're first or second year students, may not be familiar with us. But we are an office located in the Barrett complex in Honors Hall 225, although we do serve students from all over the university. So you do not have to be a Barrett student in order to take advantage of our services in any way. We go by the acronym ONSA, which stands for Office of National Scholarship Advisement. And the things that we do include publicizing scholarship and fellowship opportunities. Important to note that these are opportunities that are external to the university. So it's not the kind of scholarships that you would get to get funding to help you pay for your education at ASU, but international and national competitions for scholarships that are external to the university, that are prestigious awards that students can compete for, and we assist in that process. And one of those awards is the one we're going to be talking about today, the Fulbright UK Summer Institute program. Another thing that we do is we identify potential applicants. So some of you may have received an email from one of us in the Office of National Scholarship Advisement, or perhaps from one of your professors, indicating that we thought you'd be a good candidate for this program, and we asked you to come join our info session. So welcome to those of you who have been identified. Others doesn't mean you're not a good candidate. Obviously, we're going to talk about the ways in which to position yourself as such for this award. We also organize campus committees and nomination processes for awards that require this. This is not one of those awards, so you don't have to worry about that. Importantly, we provide you with guidance in preparing all of your application materials. And this is one of the most important ways that we can help you be successful. So please do take advantage of our services. Also, for the purposes of this particular award, if you become a finalist, there will be an interview, and we can prep you for that. We can help you prepare for that. We, in general, coach, challenge, push students, help them to achieve the things that we know that they are capable of achieving. And as I mentioned, we are located in the Barrett complex in Honors Hall 225, but we are not at all exclusive to Barrett students. We serve all of the university on all 4 campuses, including our online students. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the individuals that can help you with this particular award. So I've already introduced myself. As I said, I'm Dr. Laurie Staff, Assistant Director, Office of National Scholarship Advisement. I am also a faculty member in Barrett, so I know some of you from Human Event and other ways in which we interact in the Honors College. My colleague, Dr. Nilanjala Bhattacharya, is also a faculty mentor for the Office of National Scholarship Advisement. We are the advisors that serve for this particular award. So if you need assistance, we are the people that you need to reach out to. And I've included our email addresses here, but I will also, at the end of the presentation, give you more information about how to make appointments with us and take advantage of our services. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, what is Fulbright UK? Well, the global Fulbright program was created in 1946 in the aftermath of World War II through legislation introduced by Senator J. William Fulbright of Arkansas and then signed into law by President Harry S. Truman. The idea behind this is to get as many Americans as possible out into the world, give them the opportunities to engage with other cultures, to be involved in mutual cultural exchange, to bring what they learn back to the US, as well as bringing individuals from other countries to the United States so they can familiarize themselves with our culture and then bring back that information to their countries, with the idea that the better we understand each other, the more likely we are to create a more peaceful and stable world. And so in 1948, the UK and the US signed a treaty that specifically created the US-UK Fulbright Commission. And this was one of the first Fulbright programs in the world. And they aim to deepen understanding between the peoples of the US and particularly the people of the UK. The great thing about being a Fulbrighter is that it opens all kinds of doors to you, not only for future awards while you're still a student, but later on down the road when you start to work in the professional world, to do the great thing you're going to do when you grow up. You can make all kinds of connections through the networks that are established as a Fulbrighter. And as you can see from this slide, some former Fulbrighters have gone on to become politicians, authors, business professionals, composers, and even Nobel laureates. So there's a lot of great benefits to being involved with this process. So now we probably need to cover exactly what this specific program is, and this is the Fulbright UK Summer Institutes program. These are 3 to 4 week programs for US undergraduate students who have had little, if any, travel experience outside of North America. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what they mean by that in a moment. And basically, these again are in keeping with the Fulbright mission to give the opportunity to students to be able to familiarize themselves a bit with UK culture, heritage, and history, while being a student at a summer institute at one of 6 different institutes that are located at universities in the UK. The programs are fully funded, so that means you will not really have to spend much, if any, of your own money. And this is because of the generous donations that Fulbright UK has received from private individuals through Study Abroad Engagement Grant from the USA Study Abroad program within the Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs of the US Department of State, as well as contributions from some partnerships that they have made with some top UK institutions. So it's a collaborative effort, which allows students to be able to engage in these opportunities while being funded. What are the great things that you get to do if you become a participant in one of the Fulbright UK Summer Institutes? Well, you get to study alongside leading academics and professionals. You get to develop knowledge in specific areas. You get to experience cultural and social events. You get to visit UK cultural sites and areas of scenic beauty. You get to receive some credit that you can transfer to your home institution. Not all of the institutes offer this. I will elaborate further on which ones do. You're able to meet people from different backgrounds and cultures, not only students from the UK, who of course you will be interacting with, but many of these programs also admit a number of international students. So students from all over the world may be part of the cohort that you become part of as a participant in the UK Summer Institute. So it's a fantastic opportunity to meet all kinds of people from all over the world. And because, again, this is part of the Fulbright mission to become an ambassador for studying in the UK, for the Fulbright Commission and their host institution. So they hope that when you return from your experiences that you will spread the word about how great an experience this is and help to promote this program so that other students will get the opportunity as well. Okay, so now there's the question that probably all of you are asking is, am I eligible for this program? And the answers to those questions are listed here. So you are eligible if you are a US citizen and possess a passport by the time of the program start. So if you don't have a passport right at this second, don't worry. Just apply for one as soon as humanly possible. And we say this because we know that right now, unfortunately, the passport office is taking quite a long time to process new applications. So go ahead and put it in with the hopes that you will be able to travel abroad at some time in the future. You do have to have that passport in hand by the time the programs will start, the earliest of those being in late May. So this should be your goal, is to make sure you have that document. You do have to have a minimum GPA of a 3.7. And I know that maybe some of you in this meeting are first semester, first year students, and you're thinking, I don't even have a GPA yet. I haven't even been at the university for a full semester. Don't worry about that. Right now, think about the ways in which you're going to position yourself as a good applicant. We will soon see whether or not you have that GPA. You will have to submit copies of your transcripts once you apply, but the application is not due till February 1st. So you will have those transcripts by that time. You do have to have at least 2 years of undergraduate study remaining after the institute finishes. So if you're a first or second year student, likely that is no problem. But if you have been here more, maybe you're a third year student, but you know that you still have 2 more years before you're going to graduate, you are definitely eligible. Or maybe you transferred from a community college and you still have 2 more years here at ASU, you absolutely can apply. The main thing they're looking for, though, is students who have not really had much opportunity to travel abroad, mostly because of financial reasons or other restrictions. So what they mean by having very little or no study travel experience outside of North America, that means the US, Mexico, and Canada, it means that you have not spent more than 4 weeks outside of North America in the last 5 years. Okay, so think about your experiences. If you've been on another study abroad program that was longer than 4 weeks, if you traveled and it was more than 4 weeks, then unfortunately you would not be eligible. There are some exceptions, however, to this, and that is for those students who are refugees or students from other countries who have had to go and spend time abroad because of family situations, family emergencies. So those kinds of experiences will not count against you. But if you're someone who has had substantive travel experience, unfortunately, this program is not geared for you. You do have to be 18 years old or older by the time the program starts. So again, if you are not yet 18, that's okay. You just need to be, again, by the end of May or early June, depending on when your particular program starts. And you also have to not participate in any other study abroad program during the summer that you will be at the UK Summer Institute. So that's the summer of 2024. So if you're planning to apply to something else and you get accepted, you want to go to the Fulbright UK program and you're accepted to that, you will have to choose one or the other. Unfortunately, they do not allow you to do 2 programs the same summer. You also have to be able to participate in the program for its entirety. So you can't go and then leave and come back. You know, if you have a wedding or an event here in the US that you need to attend, unfortunately, they don't allow you to do that. You have to be there. And the programs are fairly short, 3 to 4 weeks. So you just have to commit to that full time. Okay, I'm going to take a moment now and stop it because sometimes students have questions about these things. So I'm going to see if anybody has anything. I don't see anything in the chat. Does anybody have any questions? If you'd like to raise your hand and ask, or things that are unclear. Yes, Nicolette.
I noticed it says that you cannot be participating in any other study abroad experience. Does that count if it's like after the end of the program, or is it completely they just want you to take that program for the summer?
Unfortunately, it means any other program during the summer of 2024. Because
Oh,
again, the
okay.
idea is that they want this to be an opportunity for students who don't normally get a chance to go abroad, so that this is their opportunity. Okay, other questions? No? All right, I'm going to move on to the next slide then. So now that we've established the basic eligibility criteria, we want to talk a little bit about what kind of applicant they are looking for, what kinds of qualities, characteristics that the reviewers will be looking for. So they do want to see things like evidence of leadership qualities and initiative, and this is broadly conceived, so it doesn't necessarily have to be formal leadership, but basically any experience you can demonstrate where you took the lead on something or you took the initiative to start something new or to get a bunch of people together to do something, that counts as leadership. Your academic ability, and obviously this is demonstrated by your GPA, but also by other things that you've done in your academic career. Your character, right? Whether you are suitable to be a cultural ambassador for the US, whether you will represent the US well, whether you're sensitive to other cultures, you're open-minded and tolerant, your adaptability, your flexibility, your willingness to go outside your comfort zone, your ability to deal with challenges and obstacles if they are presented to you, and the ambassadorial qualities that I mentioned, again, because you are going as a representative of the United States. You do want to have an interest in the UK and its culture, right? If you're not interested in the UK, this is probably not the program for you. And so there are other programs we can talk about, but you should have a sincere interest. This means doing some research if you don't already know something about the UK. So this is an opportunity for you to look further and to find the things that you will find interesting about UK and its culture. Again, applicants who have never left the US and who are unlikely to be able to study abroad without the kind of support that a fully funded program like this offers are really the ideal candidates. Again, you can have some limited experience abroad, but they're really trying to make this an opportunity for students who just, for whatever reasons, can't have the opportunity to go abroad. They're also very much looking for applicants from a diverse range of backgrounds. In particular, they're interested in students from low income and or first generation college students. So these are often students who haven't had these kinds of opportunities and find it difficult to engage in study abroad because of the limitations from their personal life. They are also thinking about diversity in other ways. So geographic diversity, diversity of major, diversity of ethnic and racial backgrounds. There's lots of ways that they understand diversity. Coming from a big public university like ASU that is defined by who we include, not we exclude. In other words, we have a pretty high selection rate. We're not a highly selective Ivy League school that only accepts 5% of applicants. Coming from the Southwest, which is a region, again, that is generally underrepresented, gives you an element of diversity. But there are definitely other things that I'm sure you all bring as unique individuals that can demonstrate that kind of diversity. So now you've heard me say this is a fully funded program, so you probably want to know exactly what that means and what the program will cost. Well, it's actually very, very little because the institutes are covered by the Fulbright Commission and its partner institutions. So this means they will pay for your round trip airfare from the US to the UK, the transportation from the UK airport to your institute. They will not, however, pay for your transportation from your home airport or from your home to the US airport. They will provide coverage for all of the tuition and all of the fees that are associated with the host institution. They will pay for all of the social and cultural activities that you will have the opportunity to engage in. They will pay for your accommodation and some meals. You may need a little bit of extra money to cover some meals, but most will be covered. And in some cases, they will give a small additional stipend. The other thing that the program does not cover and that you will have to secure for yourself is health or travel insurance. That many students are covered under their parents' plan, so maybe you don't have to worry about that. But if that's not something that you have, then it is something that you have to provide yourself. Okay. So just to make it more specific for you to know exactly what institutes are being offered, I'm going to go through the 2024 listings and describe a little bit about each of the programs so that you will have the opportunity to make a decision about where it is that you'd like to go. So this year, or this coming summer, 2024, they are offering 7 different institutes at 6 different universities. So some of these are new, and some of these are institutes that they offered in the past. A new one that they've added this year is one to St. Andrews, University of St. Andrews in Scotland, which focuses on the history of Scotland. The theme is Scotland's history, kingdom, nation, and people. That one runs a little bit earlier than the other programs. As you can see, the start date is May 25th. This will mean that the interviews for this, while they mostly will take place in May, for this particular institute, if you're applying, the interviews will take place in April. So the timeline is pushed up just a little bit. There are 5 spaces available at this particular institute. It's a 3-week institute. The cohort type will be the 5 Fulbrighters that they choose, along with a number of other international students that they bring in. So this is a great opportunity to engage with people from all over the world. The second institute is in Northern Ireland. It's Queen's University, Belfast. And this theme is culture, identity, history, and politics. And you have a choice in this particular program because the first week they have a set course list that all of the students participate in, but the second and third weeks you actually get to choose from different strands, right? And so this is something, if you're interested in, you should do research. You should go to the website and be a little bit more informed about what it is they're offering so that you can write a compelling essay about why you want to attend this particular institute. The third one is and there's 5 spaces at the Belfast program. Again, 3 weeks. The 5 Fulbrighters there will be joined by 80 international students. So that's a really great opportunity, again, for you to engage. And Belfast is a bigger city than St. Andrews. St. Andrews is very small. Belfast is a big, vibrant city. So if you're, again, thinking about whether you like small towns or big cities, it's something to consider. The third institute is at the University of Bristol. And actually, the University of Bristol is now hosting 2 different institutes with different themes. The first theme is the intersection of arts, activism, and social justice. There are 7 spaces at that particular institute. It's also a 3-week duration. There will be, in addition to the 7 Fulbrighters chosen, there'll be a number of students from the University of Bristol who are already there, and then 7 additional international students. So again, you have the opportunity to meet lots of different people. This is a very kind of hands-on program. There's a lot of different activities, and they really are looking for students who are interested in activism and the ways in which they intersect with arts. The second theme that now they're offering also at the University of Bristol, which is new this year, is the theme of Black Humanities. This is a 3-week program as well. There are only 3 spaces for this, but again, the cohort will be made up of international students from all over the world. And what's really great about this one is that it's hosted by the renowned Center for Black Humanities, which is one of the premier institutes studying this subject. And it's placed in a city that has deep roots in the histories of transatlantic slavery, racism, and resistance. It's also kind of a little bit of a bigger city. That it's a very vibrant cultural scene. There's lots of things to do there. The next program will be at the University of Exeter. And the theme there is climate change and sustainability. And for this program, they do want students who have a particular background in climate change and stability. This doesn't mean that you have to be a STEM major, but it does mean that whatever you are majoring in, or the coursework that you're currently pursuing, or the things that you're doing outside of the classroom are very much connected to these ideas of climate change and sustainability. So for the other institutes, you can come from any major, really. They don't really care. This one, though, they want students who clearly have this as part of their trajectory academically or professionally or personally moving forward. There are 6 spaces at the Exeter program. This is a little bit of a longer program. It's a 4-week program, but you spend the first 6 days of the program in London so that you get a nice kind of extra bonus of experience being in London. And then the last 3 weeks, you'll go to Exeter. This cohort is all Fulbrighters, so it'll just be the 6 of you in this very kind of small cohort. And this program is one in which they'll provide you with a stipend. And basically you just manage your own money and you use it to be able to pay for things that are that you need, like food and transportation. The last one is at the University of, oh, I'm sorry, there's 2 more. Aberystwyth University, which is in Wales. This theme is identity and nationhood through the lens of Wales. So this is, again, something, if you're interested in Welsh history, might be a great program for you. It's a 3-week program. There are 8 spaces there, and you'll be mixed with 8 additional international students. So like St. Andrews, Aberystwyth is a very small city, so you might want to think about that, again, compared to some of the other places, which are larger cities. Something that you might consider if you have dietary restrictions. There might be more limited options in the smaller towns as compared to larger cities, or other kinds of things. The other thing to note is that the university itself is located at the top of a pretty steep hill, and it requires a lot of walking up and down. So that's also something you might want to keep in mind. And lastly, there's a program also in Scotland at the Glasgow School of Art in connection with the University of Strathclyde. And that theme is the technology, innovation, and creativity theme. So that's kind of, again, the intersection of the way these things operate. There are 8 spaces in that particular institute. This one is a very short one, though. It's only 2.5 weeks. However, as I understand, the curriculum is fairly demanding. And unfortunately, because it's so short, they don't offer transfer credit for this one. So still a great opportunity. Obviously, you'll get a lot of great experiences, but you will not be able to get transfer credit. And again, this should be something that when you're thinking about applying, you make a good argument as to why you're really interested in going to Scotland and Glasgow in particular. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I think I see some questions. I missed the number of slots in the St. Andrew program. Can you? Yes, St. Andrew, 5 spaces there. So that's okay. Someone else answered. So thank you. And then I have a question about which one of these schools would recommend for a major in the sciences. So this is the thing about these programs, is that you do not have to be majoring in the things that are the thematic approaches to them. They actually are really looking for students who represent a diversity of majors. But if you're in the sciences and you're particularly interested in things like sustainability and climate change, then obviously a good program for that would be the Exeter program, right? The program in Scotland at Glasgow is also maybe good for students who are in engineering fields. You know, it's about technology and innovation. But again, really, they are not limiting this to people with certain majors. You just have to show that you have a really strong demonstrated interest in the thematic approach of the particular institute. Does that answer the question? Okay, great. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So we've been talking about a lot of different places in the UK, and maybe you're not so familiar with where these are geographically. So we thought it would be a good idea to show you on the map where they are and to kind of explain to you what the makeup of the United Kingdom is. So the United Kingdom comprises Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The United Kingdom has actually, though, 4 different countries within it. So England, Scotland, and Wales comprise what is known as Great Britain. And then if you look over on the map, if you jump over to the island of Ireland over here, the northern part has been carved out as part of UK territory, sometimes described as a country, a province, or a jurisdiction, but this is Northern Ireland. So you can see that the rest of Ireland is an independent nation, right? That's the Republic of Ireland. It is not part of the UK. It is not part of Great Britain. It's its own independent country. And so to give you a better idea of where the institutes are, we've put little markers to show you. So obviously the program on Northern Ireland in Belfast is here in Northern Ireland. Oh, I'm sorry, I advanced the slide. The program in St. Andrews is in this little town right here on the tip of this this little part of territory that juts out from Scotland. Glasgow is here kind of in the central part of Scotland. The University of Aberystwyth is down here in Wales. The University of Exeter is down here. Bristol is in this little tiny in space right here. And then London is here for those who are participating in the Exeter program. You will spend a week in London. Okay, so I see another question in the chat. Just to clarify, is it enough to be interested in the academic theme and the location, and our majors don't necessarily have to align? That is correct. Yes. So you don't have to be majoring in the arts to go to the arts program at Glasgow School of Art, right? But you do have to demonstrate that you have a really strong interest in learning more about them. I don't know the numbers. So the next question was, do I know roughly how many applicants typically apply for this program? And I don't have those numbers, and unfortunately, Fulbright doesn't break it down that way. But last year, we do know there were about 550 applicants for about 50 spaces. So maybe even fewer. I think maybe it was 37 spaces. So unfortunately, the selection rate is pretty small, it's pretty low. So they are very competitive awards, but that's because they are fully funded. I don't know what the breakdown was between how many people were applicants to the particular institutes, but we do know the overall. Okay, so next slide. So in order for you to prepare your application, we do have some best practices for you to follow. The first thing you should really do is do your research, right? And the Fulbright UK Summer Institute website, which we've linked here, and I will pull up just momentarily. So let me see. Are you able to see the Fulbright site right now? Okay, so this is their website. They have a tremendous amount of helpful information on this. Each of the institutes, if you scroll down, you will see that they have each of the institutes listed. And if you click on read more, they will give you very specific information about what the institute entails, beyond the very cursory introduction that I've given you here. Additionally, they give you information about best practices for applying, selection criteria, other information that you might be interested in, a list of FAQs. Obviously, people have lots of questions often and they anticipate them, so you can scroll through and see the FAQs. So that is the place that we recommend that you start. And I realize you probably can't get to the website through the link on the presentation. So I'm going to put it here in the chat for everyone. And spend some time, right? Really think about what it is that you are interested in doing and how you can position yourself to make the strongest argument for why you would want to go to that particular institute. This. Back to the presentation. Okay, is everybody able to see the presentation again? Okay, thank you. Okay, the next thing that we really highly recommend that you do is you enroll, if you are serious about applying. So if you're, when you've decided that this is the right program for you, you meet all of the eligibility requirements, and you are fairly certain you're going to move ahead with the application process, we have established a canvas that is dedicated exclusively to the Fulbright UK Summer Institute program, which gives you a tremendous number of resources, a great place for you to walk through the modules and see everything that we have done to create the best ways for you to move forward with the application. So I'm going to link to that really quick, and I will also put the link so that you can. Oh, I got to sign in. Okay. Okay, so this is what it will look like when you go to, it's not gonna look like that for you. It's gonna look like student view. So let me put that in there. Okay. Okay, so are you all able to see the canvas? You can't. Okay. Let me stop the share and go to the canvas. Okay. Okay, how about now? Awesome. Okay. So, again, this is the link that you will use. So I'm going to copy that into the chat so that you can see, you can enroll yourself. And again, because this is a self-enrollment, we do ask that you only enroll if you really feel like you're going to move forward with this. And then we can help you as best we can. So you'll start here with the modules, and it's going to ask you to finish a module before you move on to the next one. So there's some great videos here that we've linked in the promotional materials to give you a better idea of the program, some of the past alumni of the program who speak about their experiences, and also give some tips about how to make your application as strong as possible. And then the actual application information that Fulbright UK has provided to us. There's a number of other videos here. The most recent round of participants in this particular institute made a video about their experiences, but then we also have some from ASU alums. They're a little bit older, but they still give you a good idea of what the experience was like. Then we do have the application steps, your eligibility again, and then some guidance on helping you to the institute that you want to provide. So there's actually a lot of information there to help you with that. We have the full application form here. You will have to apply completely online, but sometimes it's a little bit of a hassle to keep going back and forth into the online system. So we have a PDF of it here that you can refer to, especially when you're working on your essays. We also have a pre-application worksheet, which again lays out all of the different elements of the institutes, gives you a worksheet so that you can compare them and then make decisions on which one you want to apply to. You can only apply to one, so you do have to narrow that down, as well as then some guidance on brainstorming about your essays. So those are going to be really important, and obviously we'll talk further about the essays once you move forward. But basically there are 3 short answer questions about your leadership experience, about why you want to go to the particular institute that you want to go to, and why you have the financial need. And then 2 longer essays. One is a personal statement, again, about your background, what you bring as a cultural ambassador, why you think you will find the experience of the UK Institute transformative. And then the 5th essay is also a longer one about a current affair that is particularly important to you personally, and why it's so important to you. Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. Okay, is everybody able to see the presentation now? Great. Okay. So what we do recommend is that once you enroll, you walk through the modules, and then importantly, because this is a program that requires 2 letters of recommendation, that you start thinking about identifying individuals who you can ask. As far as that goes, one of the letters should come from an academic professional, someone who knows you fairly well, someone who can speak not only to your academic abilities, but also to the various ways in which you will serve as a good cultural ambassador. So they should know something about you personally. Are you a good team player? Do you play well with others? Do you have the kind of cultural sensitivity and open-mindedness that we are looking for in a cultural ambassador? Are you adaptable? Are you flexible? Are you willing to go outside of your comfort zone? Now, for those of you who are first semester, first year university students, that may be difficult for you to find a professor. So you can ask a high school teacher, someone who you had a good relationship with and can speak to those qualities. You can also reach out to a professor that maybe you think knows you a little bit, but you would like them to get to know you better. You can set up a meeting with them and ask them if they're willing to take the time to get to know you and then write a letter of recommendation for you. The other letter should come from an individual who also knows you well, but in a more formal capacity. So no friends or family, a supervisor from a work experience or an internship or a volunteer experience or a coworker, somebody who knows you well and again can speak to your abilities in these regards. On our Canvas page, we also have guidance on how to choose recommenders. Additionally, we have a memorandum of guidance that you can provide to the recommender that gives them very specific advice on how to write a strong letter for this particular opportunity. Because this is a unique kind of program, we want them to be able to write the strongest letters for you, and therefore we've crafted a letter of guidance to try to help them do that. Okay. So, best practices for a positive application experience. Probably most importantly, understand the timeline. The applications are now open. They opened on the 14th. So you can go in right now, you can start an application and start looking through it, or you can enroll in the Canvas and see the PDF of it. The applications will close on February 24th. There are no exceptions. I'm sorry, February 1st of 2024. There are no exceptions to this. Okay, they will not accept late applications. They will, however, accept it till the end of the day. So 11:59 p.m. They will take the applications up until that point. After that, they will close the portal. You will not be able to apply. In late March, the semifinalists will be notified. In early April, there will be a webinar that FUKSI will provide for you to prepare for your interview. We will also give you guidance for the interview so you can set up practice interviews with us. Mid to late April, the finalists or the interviews will take place, and then early May, the finalists will be announced. So make sure you put these dates in your calendar and you're keeping track of them. Importantly, because the deadline is February 1st, but there are the 5 essays that you have to complete, the 3 short ones and the 2 longer ones. We really don't want you to lose time over winter break. This is why we're having this info session now, right? And we want you to get started working on it. And we're happy to take appointments with you to help you craft those essays. But you should definitely not wait until after we come back from winter break. That will be January 8th. That will only give you 3 weeks to prepare the application, and that's really not sufficient time. So, other best practices for a positive application experience. You should treat this like a job application. You should treat this very seriously, right? Always putting your best foot forward. You should seek feedback often. So obviously from us, the ANSA advisors, but also you can reach out to other faculty mentors. You can reach out to alums of the program. We can put you in touch with those folks from ASU, but also on the FUKSI website, they have information about how to get in touch with those folks. So that's an important way to get information. They also have lots of YouTube videos that you can watch that former participants have produced to give you tips. So those are all ways you can get feedback. Come prepared with questions, right? So when you come to meet with either one of us or anyone else who's helping you, make sure you have specific questions to ask. If you want your drafts review, which we are absolutely happy to do and highly encourage, actually, please do send us those drafts in advance. So 24 hours in advance is very helpful so that we can read them over and then give you constructive feedback on how to improve. You can reach out again to the other ASU applicants. You should consider all of your drafts as works in progress, right? Until you submit. So no one's going to submit the first draft, or at least you shouldn't, right? The best writing is revision, and you're going to want to go through a number of revisions. Usually applicants go through 3, 4, 5 revisions before they achieve a feeling of completion and then submit. Okay. Don't forget that we are here to help you, right? And so here are the ANSA resources that are available to you. Again, this is the website, or this is the address to use the HTML to get enrolled in our Canvas. I highly recommend that you do that if you're serious about applying. To get feedback on your essays, logistical support, right? We can help you with all kinds of things if you're having trouble with anything logistical. We will take individual one-on-one appointments, and I've included the link here to sign up for those. So that's ansa.asu.edu. Oops, sorry, did not need to do that. And then also keep note of the info sessions that we're going to offer. So on our website, we also have an events link that will tell you all of the upcoming workshops. So we will hold a workshop probably in early January when we all come back from winter break to help get your essays in a place where they are moving forward. And then we'll have a drop-in essay polishing workshop the week before the final deadline. If you have any problems with any of these things, you obviously can reach out to any of us. I did provide you with those email addresses at the beginning of the presentation, but I can put them in the chat one more time so that you can have them. So again, I'm Dr. Staff, and my email is just lstaff@asu.edu. And our other advisor is Dr. Bhattacharya, and her email is nilanjana@asu.edu. The ANSA website, again, is just ansa.asu.edu. If you don't subscribe to our bulletin, there is a place on our website for you to do that, and that will give you the opportunity to receive weekly updates on all the things that we offer. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share and open up to any questions that you may have. Okay, so there's a question in the chat. Since this is a government program, would applying to a different study abroad government program, i.e. Gilman Scholarship, conflict with this application? No, it would not. However, do remember you cannot go on another study abroad if you get accepted to the FUKSI program. You can only do that program that summer. But if you're applying for a Gilman to go study abroad in the fall or the spring, that's totally fine. They don't conflict. Any other questions? Okay, well, if there are no other questions, I will release you all to have the rest of your Friday back. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do reach out if you have any questions or concerns. As I said, we are definitely here to help you. We want to ensure that your application is as strong as possible.